Absolute Superman is in comic shops and the big book on the marquee today at the same time that Superman is kicking off the new era of DC films. And so Tyler and I, at least, are hoping to get out of here as soon as we can because we've got a movie to go to.
Yeah, it feels weird that in the year 2025, July, I'm actually seeing a Superman movie tonight. You know, when's the last time we did this? Man of Steel? I wasn't even podcasting at that point.
Is anybody?
Yeah, actually.
Uh, I mean, I would count Batman versus Superman, in which
Oh,
case I was
Re-
podcasting at the time.
Revisionist history. The movie doesn't exist.
Hayden's Hideout shot out 20 Comics Pals gifted memberships to kick off the stream, and I happen to know that it is Hayden's birthday. So in a way, Hayden is giving the gift. He's being the gift giver today, and just giving us these super chats or these gifted memberships. Thank you so much, Hayden.
Hayden, happy birthday, first of all. Second of all, for somebody with Hideout in their name, you're very present, and I appreciate that.
ever present.
Yeah.
Not hiding.
Exactly.
Happy birthday, Hayden. And someone read off those gifted memberships.
Got you. Damn. Jeff Buck, Mario Kenpachi E, Nighthawk, Hayward W. Messages past your friends in Christ NC, Ready Set Collect, Henry C. Hey, RJ 2727, Karma Savage, Nicholas Walker, Blues House, Chris Game, Garth Wong, Abe Torres, Paperback Art, Bay 1G4, Miko, Mr. YouTube 92, Hollywood's Rules, Volsey Nebula. Congrats on receiving your gifted memberships. Thank you so much, Hayden's Hideout.
Thanks a lot, dude. That's wonderful. Hayden says, "Hey, pals, I won't be able to listen to today's live show. I'll be on my way to watch Superman. I've been doing a lot of reflecting today with it being my birthday. I can't help but feel grateful for this community you founded. Who knew looking for a Two-Face #1 review would lead me to finding a group of people who love this wonderful hobby. I hope you have a great show, and thanks for everything y'all do. Catch you peeps on the replay." Thanks a lot, Hayden.
I still think it's wild if it's coming from a review that we did one issue for.
A singular issue.
We might have done. Did we do two? We might have done two.
No, I think just the one. I think Sean gave like a glimpse into the second.
Okay. Funny.
All right. So we've got 6.
Count.
Nobody to say count them anymore.
Yeah, that felt weird.
I guess I'll just barrel through. 6 books on deck today. Absolute Superman #9. Dark Patterns #8. Fantastic Four #1. Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion #2. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rites of Spring #1.
Oh,
I
that's a
got
sick
the
variant.
American Psycho variant.
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh,
Me
really?
neither.
I think it would change me in a bad way.
Nah.
Transformers #22. The poll winner this week, in fact.
Is that also a variant?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Yes, because I did not like the cover A for this. We've also got All the Pals on deck, which is weird because All the Pals is 3 pals, but we've got Marco.
Celsius.
There it is. Tyler.
Greetings, hamburgers. Nope, that didn't work.
Nice try.
I'll try another one next time. I didn't feel right.
And I'm Sean. Thank you guys for being here, whether you are live or in the future. Smash the like button if you enjoy what we tend to do around here. If you're new, you can wait. You can give it a moment before you like, before you subscribe. See if you enjoy our vibe as we kick things off with our review of Absolute Superman #9. This is written, as always, by Jason Aaron, with art by Rafa Sandoval. We also have Fico Ossio on art as well. Colors by Ulysses Ariola. Letters by Becca Carey. So Superman needed rescuing. He needed saving. And so the Omega Men bring him to one of their locations to try and extract this kryptonite from him. Meanwhile, Lois Lane has an encounter with Ra's al Ghul. And the Omega Men and the Lazarus Goons have a fracas. We get more exposure to Jimmy Olsen, the absolute Jimmy Olsen, and he finds himself in a very precarious position by the end of this issue. Tyler, what did you make of Absolute Superman?
Well, I thought Daft Punk would be in the book based on the cover, so I was a little bummed about that. But it was. I'm reading a book, not listening to it. I thought this was good. I've kind of plateaued in my hype for Absolute Superman. It's become one of those books where it's like, this is a good book. End beat. You know what I mean? It's never really like lighting me up much like Saul does his cape. And it's I think it was distinctly talking and having some commentary on the idea of Superman fighting for the underdog. And I think it's kind of losing that a little bit for me. In and it's trading that off to just be kind of a once they introduced Raz and Brainiac, it's kind of just back to superheroes versus supervillains, if that makes sense. I think there's the very last page of this, I believe it's the last page, where you see like the war crime that happens in it. That kind of brings it back to like a more what's the word I'm looking for here? Commentary based on like the real life commentary that it has. I wish it would lean into that more. I think that is what felt like it was distinctly different about. I almost said 616 DC, but like Prime DC. But I am liking it. I think the idea of throwing Kal-El into the mix here between these warring, I mean, let's be real, they're warring Al Ghul's. That's Talia, right?
Probably.
It's like the literal same skin tone as Raish or Raz. And it would explain why she's so what's the word I'm looking for here? I guess
A bone to
hellbent.
Are
pick.
you doing
Yeah.
your best Kale impression right now, or what's going
I
on?
think he's there's a lot less ums and a lot less pauses, but I am losing my words like Kale. He's kind of inhabited me. But yeah, no, I think it's a really good book. It was not my pick of the week, and the last couple issues haven't been my pick of the weeks, but I am enjoying it.
I'm I was a little more down on this book. I think I've enjoyed all of the issues, and this is the first time where I felt like a dip in the enjoyment. I think in particular it started with the very quick interaction we get with him on the med bay. The bullets are being taken out, and I just found myself like, okay, what were we doing here? Like what is Superman's message? What is his core tenement again? I'm kind of slipping back into that the thing where we had at the start of the run, where I'm like, who is he? Who is he meant to be? And right now he's kind of torn in between two places, which I think is what Aaron's trying to get across. Like that is the whole point here. Whether he sticks to the him wanting or not to interact with the Omega Men, and go down this path of extremism, even though he knows that there are things that they're doing that are good, but choosing a violent path. And I'm still having trouble now being like, okay, but who is he? Who is this Cal? Is he going to live by the ethos of his parents and his family? I don't know that I'm seeing as much of that bleed in anymore as I was previously. And so I think there it's starting to lose me a little bit. It was still good. It was still a strong issue, but I find myself not enjoying it as much as previous issues.
You
I
bring
guess
a
I'm surprised by that because I feel like this is strong. I really like this series. And I think, to some degree, like you can't hit the same beat every single issue. And so things are happening. Superman was shot. They've got to extract this bullet, or this kryptonite from him, and that's sort of what needs to occur in this issue. And I still think in the midst of that, you're getting, you know, Ra's and him being this completely disgusting human, who's willing to threaten Lois with her father's life, in order to get her to do his bidding. And the conflict with Lazarus and all the people that they've killed and harmed is still front and center of this book. But Superman is going to have to do some Superman shit to resolve the problem, and that's going to involve punching stuff.
Marco, you brought up that bullet extraction scene, right? It's like an extended sequence that pretty much kicks off the issue. They linger on that for a while. I feel like that's a good chunk of the issue. And like, yes, I understand the point of the plot of it all, introducing kryptonite, introducing the dangerous nature of kryptonite. But I wasn't sure what they were trying to tell me beyond that. Like, is it
Wait
that this
for
Superman's more hard edged and he's gonna rip the bullet out himself? Is that what I'm supposed to get from it? Am I supposed to get that he's like a little more independent, doesn't want to be involved with these people, so he's just gonna fucking do it himself? Um, I was trying to grasp at what the subtext of that sequence was outside of the text of it all. Um, I don't think it was bad. I was just trying to figure out why we're here for so long.
Hmm. The thing that surprised me was the box. Um,
Usually surprises me too that I got that far, but
and I'm wondering what that's gonna like. What are the implications for that beyond? Like, we don't get the direct scene of like the healing, but we do get the like the dramatic moment of it's being activated. I am curious about what that's meant to be and what that's meant to like signify down the line. They have been using seemingly boom tubes to travel around. That makes sense. But they also, and especially um the it being called the father box as opposed to like the mother box. I'm curious about what that's going to be with Primus having this like religious obsession too.
well, this is the first new Godzian tech we've seen in the Absolute Universe outside of
Mm,
the dark side of it all. So presumably this is going to be a big thing.
yeah,
And it doesn't matter what year we're in. Anytime anyone draws Kirby-esque circles and lines connecting them, like the network of art style that's on this father box, I'm a sucker for it every time.
like circuit
Yeah,
boards.
it's a circuit board situation. Yeah.
Yeah,
I really like the way that during the opening sequence where they're extracting this bullet, um, Superman's inner monologue is about how he survived the end of his world and he is all that's left. And him surviving this moment is about saving Krypton. I thought that was really strong dialogue from Jason Aaron, who just continues to sort of establish what this version of Superman is. I can't necessarily see classic Clark saying that. And I really appreciate the fact that Jason Aaron is finding sort of subtle differences and ways to differentiate these two based on the trauma that this one has that the mainline one does not have.
Well, you can do that with this character too, because the mainline Superman, like Krypton's gone, but like his dad came back. The city of Kandor is there. His cousin's around. Crypto's around. Apparently, every bad guy that was on Krypton is also around. Like Krypton is gone, but there's a lot of tethers to Krypton. Where this one, you could be like, no, Superman literally is the only thing left, and that can add more weight to his character and why he's a little more hard edged and why he's a little more stubborn. And I think in that bullet extraction scene, um, the constant whenever they show Kal-El closely, it's in reds, which remind me of like when you take damage in a video game, like he's on low health, But I just like that way it was
yeah.
colored, and anytime you like zoomed out, it was a little cooler because you're in the cold surgical room. Um, but I liked how it was really showcasing that like. I was almost hearing like the Sonic drowning music in my head, like Superman's about to lose this level, but I thought this was good stuff.
That point on the monologue with Superman at the beginning, I think how he's reflecting on, even the thing that is his home is killing him, leads back towards the end where he's also thinking about whether or not the people around him he can trust. And should he go far away, right? Should he travel to the moon? Because no one's like him, no one's going to understand him. People are asking to be saved, but he's experiencing that same thing on the from Krypton, where the difference there is obviously nobody was asking to be saved because no one believed it. But even in this situation where people believe it, people are aware, people are sitting there doing nothing. Uh, what is he to do? Like that was a good conflict tying those pieces together.
Yeah, and I think the crux of this book is, what kind of man is this and what is he to do?
Hmm.
That's the story the whole time. And so I really like that they're showing us different angles of that, but they're keeping things centered around Superman and his internal conflict, which again, mainline Superman almost has no internal conflict ever. So this just feels fresh because we don't see Superman like this. So I'm really, really uh I remain intrigued, I remain surprised, and excited for where this series is gonna go. The Ra's al Ghul being the bad guy angle still isn't it's still whatever to me. Um, but I really want to see Superman get him, not because I care about this version of Ra's, but because I care about this version of Superman. And him being able to succeed in that conflict represents him establishing what he will be in this world. So I imagine that's how the first three arcs will conclude, and I'm very very much enjoying this so far. Pull.
Uh, yeah, Paul.
Yeah, it's a pull for me still. I thought it was gonna be your pick of the week, Sean. I'm wondering what else you're hot about.
Yeah, there were some solid books this week, so this isn't my pick of the week, but definitely a strong pull, for sure.
My last gripe, and it's still a pull for me, and I'm liking it. Ra's al Ghul looks too much like Vandal Savage. Every
Yes.
every time he shows
It
up, I'm like,
does.
that's Vandal Savage, and then it's like, oh, Al Ghul. I'm like, god damn it. And there's so much Vandal Savage now in comics. I feel that's popping up everywhere that I have Savage on the brain and not Raish because he's like dead. I think.
I think so. Yeah, I think you're right about that. So the audience says 58% pull, 26% didn't buy or read, 13% pick of the week, and 2% pass. So you guys are still very much into this book, still riding high. I feel like a lot of people don't pick Absolute Superman as their favorite Absolute book, but I also don't really ever see people say it's their least favorite Absolute book. So
It's still high up there. Like ranking wise, it's like high middle.
Yeah, it's still probably on the higher end for me as well.
Yeah.
Um, the comical wonder says Superman feels like he needs to grab control of himself to stop it. He's not willing to really take help from others, but wanting to save everyone. The father box represents the control he wants, different from the Omega Men. The absolute universe is doing well and representing different fluxes of mental well being and how it ties in with all the superheroes' ethos. I completely agree with that.
And I think that's the boon of the Absolute Universe right now is that it can tell those different stories in a more cerebral way that at the advent of these characters that really wasn't what comics was about. um so modernizing that and being able to tackle that is super appealing to me.
Absolutely. So for those of you who are, because today is Superman release day, I know some people saw it through Amazon, some people saw it through, early screenings. Tyler and I will be seeing it tonight, and we will have a review for the film that will be live on Saturday. Um, and in addition to that, for the main show, 10:15 a.m., which is, that's when we always go live, we are going to have a Superman focused conversation because it is Superman month. Superman has got the movie right now, so we are going to talk about Boy Blue and what makes him so special, and why he should be the linchpin character for DC pretty much at all times. So hopefully you guys will join us for that, and we'll have some special surprises. We'll have some special surprises with us on Saturday. You're not going to want to miss it.
Is David Cornsweat get our email?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It'd be nice.
Would
Be
be
nice.
nice. Yeah.
if he showed up.
Or David Corbin. I'm like, British MP?
We just got rid of the sort of Brit. All right, we don't need another.
That's right.
Thank you guys for being here and hanging out with us. Really appreciate you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's talk about Batman Dark Patterns number 8. This is the second issue of the third arc, which means that we'll have one more arc to go after this one wraps up, and then Dark Patterns wraps up. So I imagine if there will be some kind of follow up, we'll hear about it not too long from now. This is written by Dan Waters with art by Hayden Sherman, colors by Triona Farrell, letters by Frank Vekovic. And again, we've been dealing with the Rookery, which Batman has a vested interest in wanting to solve some murder, and he goes to this rookery, this area of Gotham, and he stalks it, trying to figure out who the killer is, and thinking it's this Red Hood gang. And so far, it feels like this arc is about sort of the misdirection of expectation. Batman expects a certain that for this case to go a certain way, and it doesn't. And that fact, Batman having an expectation, things going differently than he anticipates, actually puts him in the most risk that he's been in throughout this entire series so far. Marco, did you think that this was a strong issue of Batman Dark Patterns?
This continues to be a strong series overall. From the opening, just the way that Sherman and Waters put forward the idea that Batman's getting obsessive. There are just 3 pages with 3 different headlines and then a few panels, 3 panels underneath that. And it shows the devolving nature of Batman. We know he can get obsessive. We know he can push boundaries. He can get to extremes. And so to see it kind of fall through the headlines was a really cool way to showcase one, his like descent. And then once he starts interacting with the characters that we like, Gordon, this other doctor who's working at the morgue, like you can see him really getting angry and seeing that buildup. So yeah, this I thought was another strong entry in this series, and it being the second one, a good follow up because the mystery's still getting built. I like how subtle Dark Patterns has felt. It's like an undercurrent. There are things that are happening behind the scenes. It's not overt, and I've been really appreciating for that.
And I like that, Sean mentioned, Batman's, seeing things in this mystery that maybe aren't there. And that's what how do you pronounce this shit again? It's a Pareidolia. There
Something
we
like
go.
that.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's what that is. It's seeing faces and things, or seeing things in things that aren't there. And seeing Batman, Marco mentioned those news headlines, those newspaper headlines, but also like the real shtick of Batman's beard coming in, I thought was a good bit in this. It's just like, oh, how do you make something look crazy? You give him a shitty 5 o'clock shadow, like a real crazy beard. I thought that was a good bit. They even mentioned it. I think the news guy mentions it at one point. Yeah, I'm really liking this because it even plays with the reader's expectations a bit. Like the first arc, we had a new villain. Second arc was a reinvention of a known rogues gallery member. This arc, there might not really be anyone there.
But we trust them. We trust Batman.
Well, but you trust Batman, but it might not be like a big villain. It might just be some old dude,
Right.
And then we're kind of surprised with Batman in a way, and I liked that. That's the same shtick that was happening in the first issue of this arc, where Dan Waters is writing in Batman's psychosis for the reader. Like we're feeling the same feelings he's feeling through this. I really liked it. I thought it was great. I loved how like if there's one thing Batman can't really fix, it's like as much as he tries to fix Gotham, Gotham will always surprise him. It always has something in its undercurrent that's gonna throw him for a loop. And Sherman just freaking kills it in this issue. There's this this page, and I brought it up on the stream with Batman coming out of the meeting with the news writer, the journalist, and the blacks in this, the heavy shadows. It's just great. It's typical noir look, light coming through window shades that I love, and it's the way it's lit. It's just such a good book. I mean, Hayden's kind of killing it, like always.
This was an incredible sequence.
Hell yeah.
It's a 2-page spread where Batman has been shot at through a window, and he breaks down everything about the bullet, the gun, the shot, what he can tell based on all of these factors, and he's processing all of this. But even though he can process it, even though he's aware of all that, he's not fast enough to not get shot. And the way that Hayden chose to display this, placing the panels showcasing the bullets travel alongside the walls of the building, just really awesome. I love this layout, and I've been on record as saying that I think what Hayden is doing on Dark Patterns is more impressive than what they're doing on Absolute Wonder Woman. And I stand by that. I think this is another issue where you're getting to see that. Like the later on panel where we see the old man who we learn is the one that shot Batman, and you know you can see the front of his head and all that's great, but then where his brain would be, right behind his face, you've got what he's thinking about and what's important to him and why he did this. As he's explaining those facts, we can see panels that suggest what he's talking about. I just love the way that Hayden expresses stuff.
His backstory is literally behind him, like visually depicting that. Sean, can you show that double page spread again? I couldn't find a good way of showing it off for the stream. I had an issue with this double page spread, and maybe you guys can clarify it to make it make sense to me. Where the gun is shooting from, it's at a downward angle, but all of the panels of the bullets are at an upward angle. That flow of action, I noticed it and it felt wrong to me. He's shooting at an angle, but then the bullet's going upwards. I don't know if there's a reason there that I missed, but that confused me in terms of the art layout and the direction of the action for that double page spread.
I don't think it's a direct like linear representation. I think it's meant to just capture like imagine the panel of the from shooting from the window wasn't there. It's just meant to represent the bullet. Like that isn't an arc, right? Like, it's not tracing a line across the sky.
And you can tell that it ends up going downward towards him when we're actually looking at the bullet in relationship to Batman.
Yeah, yeah.
I just know Hayden's so deliberate in what they do that I felt like they were doing something that I just wasn't catching.
I hear that, but in this instance, I don't think it was. I think this was just a way to represent it. But to that point, yeah, the breakdown, the like, it's split second thinking, and that's what Batman's about. And then he gets hit, and then he falls into the grave, like the spot. I was like, oh, that's so good. That's so smart.
He's literally thinking faster than the speed of sound.
Yeah, yeah.
This dude has a
Well,
superpower. That's a super. You can't think that fast.
Why not? Sure, you can.
Oh, I shouldn't.
The other one that I was gonna shout out, Sean, if you go to the one where they're talking about how Batman starts at the same building, not that page with the kids, but the one right after where it shows him descending and it's broken out between like different panels. That was one that I thought was really cool. Again, just showing that, yeah, just showing the momentum, right? And it's the same scene, but it's all the panels are broken up by different actions, not necessarily different environments. And again, a subtle technique that gets used a lot, but I think Hayden does it really well here.
Well, the technique that Hayden uses throughout this issue, whenever we're in the Rookery, and in the previous issue, is the angle. The shot always is from feet. Like, sorry, not me pointing this one out, but it's always from a below Batman, because that's what the Rookery is. It is below Gotham in a way. It's its underbelly, and everything is on this kind of creepy angle, as if the camera was on someone's phone that was on the floor, you know, and Batman is overlooking it in the
That's a great
shots.
point. Yeah, that's a great point.
This is another great book. This series has not had one bad issue as far as I'm concerned. Easy pull.
Yeah, easy pull.
Easy pull, and honestly, this might be the book to beat for book of the year, possibly. We're only halfway through, a little over halfway through, but it's gonna be a close one for sure.
This or Absolute Martian Manhunter.
Oh, true.
Oh
And
my
then
god.
I like how, and then a New Gods possibly for me.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm out on that one.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, for you, for you. Yeah, for you.
Sean, which cover did you pick up?
Oh, just the cover A.
The egg. Okay, there
regular.
was a Martin Simmons cover that was pretty rad. Yeah.
What?
I don't do the cardstock covers anymore because I
Oh,
feel
is it
like it's
cardstock? Okay.
horseshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't typically like the covers that have the tiny logo dressing in the corner. Like if I was picking these up physically, I like a big logo. You know, if I'm flipping through my long box, I want to be able to see what book that is right away.
Well, it also loses its style too, right? Like
Sure. Yeah.
this is very stylized. So yeah, I agree with you on that as
Another
well.
reason why I stopped collecting physically, I would get way too anal about what covers I had because I wanted to make sure I had like all the A covers, or if I liked a B cover, then I would need to continue all the B covers. It's too much. Too much stuff.
42% of you didn't buy or read. 34% of you say pull. Pick of the week is 18%, and pass is 5%. Now, the didn't buy or read, I've come to understand that what you guys are communicating, I'm sure this doesn't speak for every single person, but a lot of you that comment say that you're waiting for the trade on this one. And so that I can understand. The pass, though, I don't know that I understand. That means you read it and you didn't like this?
I always understood pass as I'm just not like, no thanks. But I guess that's what didn't buy was. But then the people who did buy it and just haven't read it yet sometimes pick that.
A pass is like you read it and you're like, actually, no, I'm okay.
Right.
Okay.
Um, let's see. Cheeky Devil. Thank you, Cheeky Devil. Says, Oi, don't forget to hit that like button, mates. Cheers. I love it, dude. I love it.
I thought that was
Cheeky you.
I thought that was Butcher from The Boys talking for a second.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. J-Dub, what's up, J-Dub? Says, I love what this book has been doing by showing that what Gotham does to its own people and how it can twist your mind. Yeah. Yeah. Gotham as its own sort of character, as an antagonist, or sometimes an ally to Batman and the people of Gotham is always fascinating to me.
I love how simultaneously we're having this real cool dive into Batman in almost the vein of the animated series and this detective Batman. And then we also have Hush too. Batman
Bat,
contains multitudes, and there's something out there for every type of fan.
All
a flavor
flavors.
for all.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
It's on it today.
Jinx, Marco. Clayton Bergstrom says, every time you guys review Dark Patterns, I feel a form of trade shame because I know you guys are going to talk about how good it is. Well, fair enough. And I like to think that for those of you who are trade waiters of this or any other book, at least we're giving you an idea of like when the trade comes out, this is something you should be looking for.
I will be buying this in trade, especially if it's a hardcover. Oh,
Oh, if it's a hardcover.
it's gonna get me hard.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was not gonna say it, then I didn't know any way around it. So sorry.
Oh,
CW Gordon, I need Hayden's take on Arkham Asylum. Oh yeah, a spiritual successor to Serious House.
Ooh.
I think I think of two artists right now when I think about a successor to Arkham Asylum. I think about Hayden Sherman, but I also think about Martin Simmons. If you give me Martin Simmons, you could give me Martin Simmons and James Tynion on an Arkham Asylum book. I'm in.
Oh, tiny and interesting.
I'm in.
That was Dave McKean did the Serious House, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's a blind spot for me, but I know I can visualize it in my head.
Gmo, right?
Yes, yes. It you know what? And it's not even one of my favorites. I don't love it, but I really like it.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of Batman stories like that. That's how I feel about the original Hush. You know,
Giving that one away, actually.
in Puerto Rico.
No. But I'm
Okay.
giving it to my brother. I had it in like my long
Okay,
boxes
you
and
can't
stuff.
say you're giving it away like it's some grand prize and it's just your brother.
Don't want it.
Marco once gifted me a um a garbage can, and I still use it to this day, Marco. I
A
hope you know
garbage
that.
can?
You don't remember the garbage can you gave me?
Give you a garbage can?
You sure did. You don't
What?
remember that? You drove over to my house and we had some stuff we were doing, and you had said, "Oh, I have this garbage can I'm trying to get rid of." And I said, "Oh, I could use a garbage can." You
Man,
gave it to me.
another man's trash, another man's treasure. Quite literally in this.
Literally,
Yeah.
literally.
It's a wild.
Thank you.
You're
When,
welcome.
when I did that comic book trivia at a brewery, Marco showed up and he was just giving out his trades.
I was just, dude, I was handing them
I
out.
think my brother has a copy of Capra signed by Michael Fife
Yes.
from
Yep.
Marco.
Yep.
I want to say a special hello to Crushing Crisis, who has a YouTube channel that I deeply love. In fact, one of the tabs that I have open right now on my browser is Crushing Crisis' latest stream, where they are reviewing the books from June 4th. Crisis is a month behind on comics, and so they are reviewing the month before those books. They're reviewing them now, trying to catch up, which I love. But what it also means is that we haven't been able to get Crisis on this show because they're trying to catch up. So what I say to you, Crisis, is chop chop.
Sean, when you say that, can we see your to read pile?
No. I
Okay.
am caught up on everything that we need to read for the show, and everything beyond that, I
His
say nothing
own.
about. Crisis
Monstrous
review
not on the show this week.
exactly,
Yeah.
notably. Crisis reviews nearly every single direct market comic.
Oh, I've seen.
I've seen. Yeah. Incredible work.
Yeah, it's insane.
I think insane is the right word, and I mean that lovingly, but
Absolutely.
bonkers.
Make sure you guys do hit that like button though if you're having a good time. Subscribe if you enjoy what we do. We appreciate everybody who does that. We've recently had a surge in you guys jumping on board with us, so we appreciate new and old subscribers. Let's talk about the Fantastic Four issue number 727. I mean, issue 1 of Fantastic Four. I mean, issue 34 of Fantastic Four. No, it really is number 1, but it's also all those other things. It's a weird duck of a book in that sense. Written by Ryan North, pencils by Humberto Ramos, who is joining the team, which I love. Edgar Delgado on the colors, Travis Lanham on the letters. If you have not been reading this series, and by this series, I mean the prior volume written by Ryan North as well, then I have to imagine that aspects of this had you a bit clueless. But broad strokes, the Fantastic Four were on the brink of losing all their powers. They averted that through Valeria's quick thinking. They were able to rejoin the fight against Doctor Doom, who in this issue decides, you know what, I'm sick of your shit. And he sends them separately across time and space, all alone. But of course, Reed Richards and co have a strategy for that. And so they all have to try to find this same rock and inscribe the time and date or whatever onto it. And if they can do that, then they will be able to find each other and return back to where they are supposed to be. Um, I really enjoyed this issue. I thought it was quite strong. There really isn't a miss in the 34 now issues of Ryan North's run on the book. And the biggest difference here is that now we have Humberto Ramos, who not only does he fit in with sort of the style of artist that we've already had on this book, but he's also just an incredible artist in his own right. Humberto Ramos is an OG. I mean, so I really loved his rendition of the Thing in particular. I think his Thing looks great. And they always talk about how artists get bored or tired of drawing the Thing because of the rock formations. And Ramos doesn't he doesn't skimp. He drew every fucking pebble on the Thing's body. So I really like that.
There,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, in talking about Ramos's Thing, when the dinosaur's chomping at it and you can see like the muscle come through, I was like, "Ooh, that's gross." I love it.
And not what I expected would be under Thing's rocks.
There was a last year. There was a Marvel Anatomy book that came out. It was almost like the Marco. What's the Da Vinci thing or the something man?
Oh, I don't know. I'm forgetting.
Yeah, it's an anatomy book, and they showed a segmented part of the Thing's body. It's all muscle under there. It's disgusting. Look like
That makes
a
sense.
Spanish ham.
I mean, that's all he is, right? Like
Yeah.
that's just surface level is the rock. It's the
Yeah.
the meaty parts inside him. Um, uh, man, this I did not like this issue. I was
Whoa.
surprised because North has been doing some good stuff previously, but this the framing of the issue, it started with um you know the film starts and pause, right? Like Ben Grimm, he's my best friend. Oh, Reed Richards, that's Mr. Fantastic. Johnny Storm, and I'm Sue Storm.
Keep going.
And
Keep going.
and I was like, oh man, I know North can write more something a little more engaging for number one to introduce me to these things. And then I've been reading up more on the Fantastic Four, coming from the Hickman era. It fell very flat and surface level, and I get that this is at least for the purposes of this issue, the plot is uh to build this tension for Sue, who's now in danger. But the time traveling pieces, I feel like I've seen that now. The uh, the having a solution to be able to go down this path. I feel like I've seen it before. I finally hit a point with Fantastic Four, where I'm like, oh wait, I've kind of started to see some of these things, and they've been executed in other places a bit better. So this issue took me out. Um, I'm not down on Ryan North as a writer because I think he's very capable, but this as an introductory issue, I think could have been done, uh, could have been more engaging.
Well, contrary to Marco, this is my pick of the week. I love this issue. This is my type of comics right here. I'm a huge Roberto Ramos fan. Like Ramos was my Spider-Man artist when I first started. And remained my Spider-Man artist for like a decade. And I think it's is it Olazaba on colors? Let's see.
Oh,
It's
it's
Edgar
yeah.
Olazaba's inker. Edgar Delgado is the colorist. He does the right thing with this art team. It's the most primary colored Marvel book you could possibly get, besides the Thing. It's secondary color, but it's very superhero heroic, and it's fun, and it does the thing that Ryan North does really well, where it adds a scientific problem that needs to be resolved. The previous volume was a little more one and dones, where this is they've had a couple where it was like 2 issues, maybe 3 max. So this is one of those where they're extending it to the next issue at least. But I thought it was great. Like the idea of like Johnny, not the sharpest tool in the shed out of the 4 of them, having to figure out how to make oxygen at the advent of Earth before bioorganic life was around. He's like, all right, I gotta find was it like copper veins or something to superheat them. Like,
Oxide.
yeah, like I like dumb shit like that because it's like smart shit, but it's stupid. I thought that was great. I like how Johnny has to come up with that, and he, that it's all about his relationship to Reed and how he remembers. Oh, I remember when Reed told me this. And then even when the thing is falling down, he's like, oh, everyone has powers to help them not crash land except me. And then he just wipes out. It's great, and I think it was pretty smart. Like, I think it's a good first issue because even though that's the next issue even has the One World Under Doom banner on it, which is funny that the number one doesn't. But I don't think you need to know what about that. You know who Doctor Doom is. Most people do. Is the bad guy. Even if you don't, it's the bad guy at the beginning of this issue. Um, and it just sends him out, and it's the idea that this is a family, and the first outing for this new volume is separating them immediately to then bring them in closer together, I think is a really smart move. And I just had a lot of fun with this. This is exactly my type of comics.
I think I had one major problem with this, and that's the doom of it, which is that I'm still really not clear what it is that Marvel what is the characterization of Doom right now? Like, is he good or not? Because in One World Under Doom, he's all altruism, all good all the time. But here he's a jerk off, just like every other non One World Under Doom book. He's a complete asshole. So I'm really struggling to understand what it is that Marvel wants me to get out of this character right now. But other than that, I mean, look, I think Marco's right that, to some degree we see some of this stuff with regularity. Like, wow, the Fantastic Four are not in, their right time. Whoop-de-doo. Definitely seen it. I think what separates it out for me is that Ryan North is smart enough to be able to put these characters in situations that require whatever it is they're uniquely capable of to solve. And that's probably the only thing I can say that I think Ryan North's run has over Hickman's, which is it just feels smarter. Like it feels more concerned with, well, how can we use their powers in interesting ways? How can we put them in unique, weird situations that require scientific answers all the time? Um, I love that. It's not just Reed pulling out some crazy new device, it's having to figure stuff out. And
Hickman
as a dumb guy, I love watching it.
Hickman's run, I feel like, is a lot of mystery boxes at some points. Whereas Ryan North's run, it's using what's already in the room and using science to figure it out.
MacGyver it.
And yeah, actually, yes.
Yeah.
Reed MacGyver's everything, really. And the family does in their own ways. So I'm with Sean on that as well. Yeah,
I do like the end of like the far flung future because I was also waiting for like, oh, she got not sent back 20 years ago or something, right? And like their relationships on the fritz, like that's what I thought was gonna happen. And then the spin of it was, yeah, you're 7 million or whatever it was years in the future. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, that was cute.
she's
That
at
was
the
cute.
inevitable sun death of the whole universe. Yeah.
Yeah.
But even like
Well,
the science of it, like I'm gonna hide certain I'm gonna let certain rays pass through me, but not all UV rays because I need something to stay warm. Like it's like that's sciencey shit, and I love it.
And I also believe that she could figure that out. And I love the fact that these characters, even Johnny, Tyler mentioned it earlier, even Johnny, who's always shown as this, sort of doofus, he has to very quickly figure out what to do in his situation or he's just dead. And he does. And I wasn't reading that going, I don't think he could have figured that out. I'm reading that going, sure, why not? He hangs out with Reed Richards all the time.
And he only knows basics, and it
Right.
shows. Like he's just bare bones. Like okay, make thing hot. Like that's as far as he goes, but it's enough.
He knew it enough.
Yeah.
he knew enough to ask his chat GPT.
I thought yeah. I thought with the new number one we could at least get rid of his handlebar mustache. I'm still not a fan.
That was rough.
It's been like that for years now. That's his thing. It's like a bit that just goes on too long. Maybe it'll be funny again eventually.
Will
I
it?
think they just need to.
It's his personality now.
I mean, it kind of is. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a pull. I enjoyed this thoroughly. Doom stuff notwithstanding, I think Ryan North's run has been excellent. And I don't see any reason for that to change, especially not with Humberto Ramos on board.
Yeah, I for what I've said, I'm still a pull because I trust that North can deliver something strong and engaging. And the art, the art's good. The eyes remind me of like early 2000s Marvel, like where like they have a bit of that manga influence with the big square and like the big circles and stuff.
Early 2000 Marvel when Humberto Ramos was drawing.
Well, I'm just saying the inspiration of it, right? Like the at least from what I could feel. So, um, yeah, I think pull for me still.
And as Tyler indicated, this is his pick of the week. So we turn things over to the audience. And for those of you who are unfamiliar, every single book we review, we put up a poll here in the live chat. This is something only the live viewers can involve themselves in. This is how you can make your voice heard as far as the book we're talking about. 37% didn't buy a read. Poll is 32%. Pick of the week, 20%. 9% said pass.
Highest pick of the
Okay.
week so far, I think.
Yeah, today, yeah, for sure. Oyabun makes a great point. North's time on this book continues to feel like classic Star Trek, and I absolutely love it.
Good point. Yeah, I think that's probably why I like it too. It's just good Saturday morning sci-fi.
Kurt Wildshut says Hickman will occasionally get into speculative sci-fi, but he's usually more interested in sociopolitics. North is a science educator at heart.
Take that.
Am I mistaken, or have I heard? I feel like I've heard Ryan North say that he doesn't have like a particular background in science. He just has learned a lot in order to write this comic.
Even before this, I think he was writing dinosaur comics,
Oh,
which was like a webcomic called Dinosaur Comics. It dealt with a lot of weird science jokes and stuff like that. It was a real nerdy webcomic.
Dan Trudeau says I enjoyed both Hickman and North, but I think North's run is more anchored in their relationships. It's why I prefer Wade and North's runs over Hickman. Okay, I see that.
Have
I
to read
definitely
that
see that.
weight stuff.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to be reading Wade stuff for Fantastic Four because everybody chose Hickman, but we might well damn be reading some Wade stuff for Superman month because the Patreon poll right now is looking heavily like Superman Birthright. So heavily that I just went ahead and bought my copy. I said, fuck it, let me just buy it.
Did you
Have
get
to download it.
the whatchamacallit copy, the compact?
Oh, I can't answer that.
Oh, interesting.
Hmm.
Interesting.
I cannot answer that.
Can you answer this?
Don't do it.
Would
Don't do it.
buying a trade count to Sean's stack?
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything I
Okay.
purchase.
I might have just confused the listeners. I'm not having a number at the end of the show.
All right, let's get into the second Marvel book we're going to speak on today. Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion #2. This is written by the tag team duo of Dennis Camp and Cody Ziegler, with art by Jonas Scharf, letters by Corey Pettit, and colors by Edgar Delgado. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, Miles Morales finds himself in the new Ultimate Universe. Yes, he originated in the original Ultimate Universe, but because of his sister digging through the trash, she found the card that the maker gave to Miles Morales, which ended up sending her into the Ultimate Universe. And so Miles has had to traverse through the multiverse to make it here to save his sister. And so she ends up in Wakanda. Apparently that's where she was this whole time. And somehow I'm going to say this right out the gate because I don't even want to explain the book as much as I want to say this fact. I felt like I genuinely missed an issue.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I was gonna ask.
I feel you too.
Because I was like, well, did they establish the baby was in Wakanda? And I can forgive that because okay, that's just they didn't know, but now we know.
They teased it. Yeah.
She was
No,
taken right at the end, right?
She was taken and there was like some reference to Wakanda in the text.
Right.
no problem. How did Miles Wasp, and Ant-Man know to go there?
I think they sort of explain it here just based on energy signatures that
Okay.
I think Doom helped them find, but they never actually see Doom in this.
Well, I thought that was the Wakandans that had the energy signatures or
Everyone was
something.
talking about energy in different seconds. You keep saying Wakanda, and the only thing I can think of is like Wakanda Reader is this book for. Like, I don't know why this book exists. I don't. It feels so pointless, and it's almost subtracting my like of the Ultimate Universe.
It's also suffering from the time jumps. We're weeks ahead. I feel like we called this out potentially.
We did. Of course we did. I was
Fuck.
reading this shit like, nah, they really didn't do this. They really didn't fucking do this.
I think they say like 4 weeks specifically. Yeah, it's a month.
Something like that. Yeah.
Few weeks. I read that shit said few weeks. I'm like, yeah, 4 weeks. 4
Specifically,
fucking weeks. Why, man?
it's not
Why?
additive. It's definitely not additive.
And it's like at the end of this book, the I guess this version of Silver Samurai steals the baby. And I was like, all right, that felt mad random to me. But then I also thought he specifically says he did this for Sunfire. And Sunfire is a lieutenant of the Maker. And I thought that the lady with the fucking crazy mask and Wasp were working for the Maker too.
Well, they're working for Shield, and Nick
Okay.
Fury is working for the Maker.
They're working for the Maker.
I feel like the world building here is confusing. Also, Silver Samurai shows up, has a completely different design than the one on the cover for the next issue.
Sick.
Wait. Wasp is working for Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, I know, but then
It
it
feels
also
like
means that the
all
three
the
people.
all the lieutenants are working for the Maker, but there's infighting within the lieutenants to be the top lieutenant.
Nobody's talking to each other.
Nobody's communicating. Everyone's got blurry face.
And I'm not saying you can't do that. That's an okay beat that they're vying for, power within this system. That's fine, but everything is happening and every issue is going to skip to the next month and characters have motivations we're not fully clear on, and so it just feels like a lot. And for this baby who we don't ultimately give a fuck about. Like let's be really genuinely honest. I don't give a fuck about this baby.
Is she important in the Miles run, or it's just
No,
it's just his sister
no.
who's in the background?
Chilling.
Just
The baby. Just
Yeah,
a baby.
I don't.
She,
Man,
she stole the card out of the trash can. Sean, that card was meant for you.
Hey, I would have definitely taken it, man. I was given a card. It wasn't that. It was a Justice League
Oh, you got a
membership
new one?
card, Aquaman status.
Did you
Yes,
get
indeed.
the Fantastic Four pins?
No, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, Marvel tweeted about it. They were giving out Fantastic Four enamel pins for if you bought issue 1.
Fuck that. I'm going back to my LCS tonight.
Go for it.
I'm going back tonight. I want my pin.
Yeah, I could have made that up, but
Oh,
Oh my God, stop.
no, it's legit. It's legit.
And now I'm thinking, sorry, take a step back. Nothing happens in the issue either, right? Like of consequence, it is once again your princess is in another castle.
Yeah, it's the road trip montage from the Muppet movie, just throughout the Ultimate Universe. It's man, there's one good beat here, and that's like getting a little internal dialogue to Hank Pym,
great.
which I thought was
Okay,
great because
yeah.
we don't have enough room in Ultimates to get that. Cool
Yeah.
with that. I loved it. I thought all the Wakandans were strangely characterized. They have all this technology, but they can't tell, like, all right, maybe these guys aren't trying to kill us, or like even like be on the side of the Ultimates. Like Black Panther knows who they are. He's aware of them.
Bro, immediately the Dora Milaje were like, hey, we'd like to talk to T'Challa.
No, boom.
Attack!
Yeah. They said
They really
E-Bombay.
are.
Relax.
Which again and again, maybe I missed it. I thought Wakanda was hidden. I thought that
It's only visually hidden, apparently. It's like they know it exists. You just gotta kind of find it. You can only get there via Jeep.
uh Tyler said it. We learned about Hank Pym. That was good stuff. He's, we're getting, into his mindset more. We're understanding that he has this low opinion of himself. Hello, it's Hank Pym. Of course he does. All that's perfectly fine. I just 2 issues deep. I'm at the point where I'm saying I don't I don't understand the point of this. To this point, I have learned absolutely nothing of interest regarding the Ultimate Universe. And at what is the price point? At $4.99, for what you're telling me is the summer thing for the Ultimate line, I feel like this should feel like more than just what Markle said. The princess is in another castle. Every issue.
This is going to amount to we have the baby now and here's leverage. Oh, if you want to catch up on this, it becomes a little asterisk from the editor. Editors know if you want to catch up on this, go read Ultimate Incursion number 2 or like number
Oh,
whatever,
I don't
right?
even think it's gonna get that far.
Not
I
gonna
think
give it the credit.
no issue 4 is at the end of it. Next issue, the baby gets taken by Omega Red and sent to Russia.
That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, or the baby winds up in limbo with magic. Oh, how do we get there?
God, just getting a tour of the
It's just a
Ultimate
tour.
Universe right
That's
now.
all it is. It's literally a tour for Miles.
See, if you were going to do that, let the writer who's writing that region write the book alongside Cody Ziegler.
I wonder if the Hank Pym part here though was Dennis Camp.
Surely.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine. But like if we're going to go to Wakanda, having Brian Hill be involved, at least the Wakandans will sound the way they're supposed to sound because he's the one who's decided how the fuck they sound.
it's a literal tour of the creative teams too.
Right.
Yeah, I don't doubt. I don't dislike that at all.
How many months remain? 4 or 5?
As soon as you said that,
5.
I aside. I
Because
don't like
right,
that.
because it's gonna be X-Men. It's gonna be, you're right, it's definitely gonna be something in Russia.
Wolverine.
That's
Yeah,
gonna, what else we got?
does it end there?
No, we
Please.
have the Ultimates.
I guess we
So
didn't
it's
really tackle the Ultimates directly. You're right. Yeah,
right.
that's
So
probably
like,
where it'll end.
yeah, yeah. And then at that point, the baby's gonna unlock freaking Maker.
Prematurely.
Oof.
Oh, I just literally went to issue 4 and this Miles is fighting magic on the cover. All right,
There you
cool.
go. Like imagine if they hadn't turned Wolverine face. And one of these issues could be Miles protecting his sister from Wolverine who's trying to assassinate her.
That'd have been cool. That'd have been
Instead,
cooler.
right, instead he's gonna what? Fight magic? I don't give a fuck. She's gonna take that man to limbo, and that's it. That should be it. It won't be, but that
Take
should
me to
be.
limbo.
Then you're gonna see Wasp, Hank, and Miles Morales again in this Jeep just pulling up into limbo. Bumpy ass road.
I also like how it's gonna take a month to get to Japan. Apparently, like you can take a freighter and get there quicker.
Take a flight, dude.
Well, I'm saying the slowest form of transportation in the Ultimate Universe. You can still probably get there quicker.
No, they're gonna go there and pick their ass for 3 weeks while they wait around for us to be able to read the fucking comic.
Miles is digging in his butt the whole fucking month. Jeez.
I am an absolute pass. I don't think that should be a surprise. I would really like to stop reading this book, quite frankly. It's even making me dislike Jonah Sharf art, which I normally dig. But everything about this to me is a pass, except for Hank Pym's inner monologue.
Well, now that we have an odd trio, I also vote to not read this anymore. So, Marco doesn't care what you say. Your vote. I voted.
This is an Energon pass for me.
Oh, I don't like that phrase. Not when we have a book to talk about later.
Oh,
changed.
Yeah, pass of the week for me.
pass of the week.
I like that a lot.
I like that, and I agree with that. This is the pass of the week.
Pass for the Ultimate Series, dude.
I might be passing
52%
the
of-
Ultimate Universe soon.
Yeah, but clearly we're wrong. 52% of the audience said pull.
What? What?
In this DC audience, man, Marvel podcast confirmed.
What?
I am stunned.
Explain yourselves.
I can't even say it's a delay, and they were talking about Fantastic Four, like a stream delay, because it says Ultimate Incursion right there. I mean, hey, let us know why. I'd be curious. Am I missing something? Probably not. And everything is up to taste and,
Like
and what you're into. This is
Tilo's
just not what
comment.
I'm into.
I'm an Ultimate apologist, and even I didn't like
That's
it.
saying something because Tilo is a
If
shooter for
Tilo-
Ultimate Spider-Man.
He
If
pulls
Tilo
up.
didn't like it, that tells you something.
Yeah. James
Wow.
Jones, the ultimate pass.
Red flag potential. Neon Knight, just for you, buddy. Absolutely, I will wave this red flag because I love you, audience, but I don't get it. I don't get that one. To each their own. Oyabun says, I'm pulling this because I need to know every move 6160 makes. This book kind of sucks, though.
Here's the thing, Oyabun. I might be in the same kind of like Stockholm syndrome that you're in. I'm reading every Ultimate book. Am I liking every Ultimates book? Hell no. But I'm reading it all because something's got to happen, right? Something's got to happen.
Does it? Does it though?
You know what's going to happen next month? We're going to have Ultimate X-Men without any of the style of that book. I'm actually kind of
Yeah,
curious
right?
about issue 3, to be honest.
Oh, that's not. They shouldn't even do that.
It's
If Peach
the
isn't
characters
involved,
are in it.
don't.
Yeah, Peach is not involved at all.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah.
That's very weird.
No wonder she said, "Yeah, we're off the book."
She didn't say
Oh,
that.
right.
Yeah.
The was it the translator, the writer?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Kurt Wilde said, I can't help but think that Miles actively choosing to hop into this universe and help the war effort would solve so much of this. Why is he a passenger in this plot? Great question. It's a tremendous question. Chris, what's up, Chris? Says, I only pulled 2 books this week, Aquaman and Transformers, that is. So, genuine question. Are you only pulling those 2 books because those were the only 2 you were interested in this week, or because financially you just couldn't do any more? Because those are 2 very interesting books to be your only pulls. They're good books. It's just interesting.
I did not read the newest issue of Aquaman, but I am excited for it. I'm liking that series.
You ever keep touching on like the water elemental stuff or whatever it is?
Oh, they're leaning heavy into it. Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah. Well,
Damn.
sorta. It's a lot of like Captain Nemo's in it. The Nautilus from like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is randomly in it.
Yeah.
Zan from the Wonder Twins is part of it now. It's very it's very magic and sword and sorcery. I think you might be into it because they are all talking about the blue as well.
Okay. What? I think it's good. The 3rd issue is going to drop, or the 4th issue is going to drop on the app, and I might pick it up.
Yeah, definitely try that.
C.W. Gordon and Munster Design appreciating the flag gimmick that I quietly discontinued earlier in the year. Thank you. I appreciate
really
it. You guys
did.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Oyabun says Ultimate X-Men with no sauce is going to be ass.
You're probably right. Probably right.
That is a saucy book. You're right though. That book's running all on sauce.
That's the point of the book.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
It's like white rice with just a lot of sauce.
All right, let's get into Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring, #1. This is done by Patrick Horvath, writer, artist, colors, everything except the letters, which are done by Hassan Otsman El How. This is from IDW. It's an IDW comic, maybe arguably one of their most popular original IP that's currently being published. And we did have the pleasure and privilege of reading this early, a little while ago, because we actually interviewed Patrick Horvath. And so you may have heard some of our thoughts on this issue during that interview. But needless to say, this picks up uh, with basically one of the murders that happens in the prior series. The sister of the man who was murdered has come to try to find him. And she's been looking for him ever since he was killed. And this issue kind of shows us that being stuck in this space of grief that she can't move past because she can't be at rest. She doesn't know what happened to her brother. She knows he's likely dead. She doesn't know how. She doesn't know who. She doesn't know why. And those questions are tearing her apart, eating her alive. She can't keep cigarettes out of her duck lips. She's beating the shit out of people who frankly deserve to get the shit beat out of them, but she's beating the shit out of people. She's just like losing her humanity or her like her only drive to live is to figure out what happened to her brother. And that search brings her to Woodbrook, which is where this book takes place. And it brings her directly into an encounter with Samantha, the main character of the book, who seems to be teaming up with this lovable duck to try to discover the location of her brother's body. Tyler, what did you think of this issue?
It was close to being my pick of the week. I liked it a lot. It is an interesting turn on what the book is. Because the previous volume, it was Samantha, right? That's the bear's name. She was the protagonist of it, and everything was through her perspective. I think there was one issue where we were reading the journal of the little creepy rabbit guy. But this kind of shifting the perspective to the victim and instead of the killer, it's the victim and the person who has to deal with the fallout of one of Samantha's kills is really interesting. I'm sure the comparisons are probably tired at this point, but this feels like how they would open a new season of Dexter. This feels like a twist that would be on a new season of that, and I love that show, by the way. And this feels right in line with that. I think, Banksy Man here says, I don't know how much I care about the duck sister trying to find her brother. Check it out because it's more compelling than just that. There's a lot of like that, how this world that the Beneath the Trees exists in is dark. Like, sure, what is it? Holbrook is the town name.
I think it's Woodbrook.
Woodbrook, yeah. It's this cheery Richard Scarry-esque town, but we go to the city where the sister and the duck was from, and it's hard edge. People don't care about each other there, and having that juxtaposed with cute little ducks and bears, and I think there was a raccoon at one point, is so fun in this. And this book is just wildly violent. There's a bit here, and I don't think I pulled a page for it. It's probably too graphic for the stream. But the sister is, she's constantly trying to find her brother, and she's constantly getting calls from the morgue just to check out this a duck that's died, if it could be her brother. And there's one panel where like it's just like you're almost on the perspective of the big light in the mortuary. Yeah, where you just see this cadaver, really, and it's gross and it's violent and it's bloody, but then the mortician is just a cute and cuddly beaver. I just love the juxtaposition of this book throughout. That it's just so much fun.
To that, I think also there's a level of like Monica the duck, the sister, is like desensitized to all this.
Yeah.
She's even at the start, right? She's going through clippings. She's looking at articles. She's looking at the graphic nature of this, police files, everything. So even when she does get called into that moment, right? She's like, nah, this isn't it. I'm so stupid to think this could be him, right? Like there is no remorse there, or not remorse, but there is no like a compassion, because it's no longer about that. Now it's just like reconciliation, finding an answer. It's obsession, and it's obsession, which is contrasted by the compulsion of Samantha. She doesn't have control over this like hunger that she has, and so she needs to succumb to it. Whereas Monica's here, kind of fighting the upward trudge of the all of this effectively evil to just get an answer. And so I really enjoyed this as an opening to the second arc, like a continuation. And uh, Tyler, you're right. This is very much a um, this is setting it up from the perspective of these victims are people, or in this world, anthropomorphic animals. Those that has consequences. Where previously we were just focused on Samantha and her mission, obviously, right? But she's also just wanton killing people, right? That of course that has repercussions. And
She's making
this is
sashimi out of them, literally.
yeah, and but these things have consequences, and this is coming now to her. And I love that at the end, she's there with the family member of a victim, and still cuddly, still stone faced, right? She's bullshitting. She's a monster.
It shifts the antagonist protagonist role for her, because she feels like the antagonist then.
Right.
She feels like the villain, which it wasn't her in the first volume.
This was my pick of the week.
Yep.
And I probably, it's probably a little unfair because I read this twice. I read it when we had to, and I read it again for this. And so I was already familiar with the book, so I was able to kind of like reappreciate everything that I enjoyed about it the first time, and I loved it even more. And again, like I could understand not necessarily caring about Monica's journey, but I did. Um, I was very interested in the idea of this person sort of building their entire life around grief. Um, and being obsessed in an almost uh like an almost like mentally ill way, like just going as far with this obsession as she possibly can, the same way that Sam does, but on the other side of the coin. And the way that this quest has destroyed her. She has no social life. She doesn't want to make any friends. People like her. She doesn't like people. She doesn't even not even like not even dislike. She doesn't care about them. Nobody living matters. That's crazy. That's a crazy way to live your life. And so I just really love that. And keeping Samantha back until the end of the issue, the character you expect to see on the first page of the book, I also really like, because now it sets up a dynamic that is radically different. Whereas I found myself asking when they first announced this, to be completely honest, why? Why are we even doing this? I got the point. Now, this issue validates a sequel.
And to that sequel, right? And to that validation with that murder. I think that's the first scene that we see in the first Beneath the Trees.
Yep.
And so um Samantha knows where those paint cans are, right? And so now this becomes even more twisted. Previously, it was just, oh, I'm gonna, help you out and show you where, or I'm gonna, sorry, previously it was, I'm just gonna go ahead and kill people, murder, right? Now it is, oh, I'm gonna feed you all these breadcrumbs to potentially get you into this, like, we're getting closer to the truth, we're getting closer to, all of these little moments, and the reveal will be, and it's me. That's fucked.
Well, I think the reveal will be that the sister finds out without even Samantha telling her.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's what's set up here. And I think the way the sister is, she's going to want to kill Samantha. And it's becoming the monster that you're fighting, is the way I can see the story going.
Yeah. There are so many potential twists and turns, and I just think it's so interesting and compelling and exciting. So, not to mention Patrick Horvath as an artist, super talented. I love the way he draws these characters and the dichotomy between the city and the Woodbrook, and it's just a beautiful book. So yeah, this is my pick of the week.
There's that one page, and I have it on the stream, where she's going through the subway, which is clearly the New York subway. Those yellow and orange seats, come on. And she is just zoning out. And Horvath just draws a perfect, like, it's not even a person, but a perfect person just in their head and what that looks like physically from an outside perspective. Like when she's just holding the subway, handrail and staring at her own reflection through the window. Oh, that's just good stuff. That's just good character work.
Great. Pull pass.
Pull for me, close pick of the week, but definitely pull.
Yeah, pick of the week.
Oh, okay, Marco. Nice. Awesome. We are aligned once again. Let's see what the chat says and where they line up. They line up with not buying this fucking book. Didn't buy or read 55%, pull 25%, pick of the week 16%, and pass 2%.
5-star 2100, great icon by the way, said, love the conflict as a reader, knowing Samantha deserves to be caught, but wanting to see how she diverts Monica. It's a cat and mouse game, except it's duck and bear. And that's a lot of fun.
It's a classic, Walter White, Hank Schrader, Tony Soprano, FBI. It's very much that kind of conflict where the protagonist of the series is a bad human, and you should want to see them lose, but you really don't because you've connected with them.
Is it like a McNulty Stringer Bell situation? There's more nuance
Yeah,
there, I guess.
that one's only slightly more complicated because they're both main
Yeah,
characters.
you just
Mhm.
referenced the two big shows I haven't watched, so
Well, yeah.
I needed you to speak my language.
Banksy says Sam probably wants to give closure and thinks that her tracks have been kept so clean that it cannot be traced to her.
Well, didn't she pin that kill on
The
the
other girl,
rabbit guy
right? Oh, yeah.
last volume? Because they dug up the paint cans. So that kill is out there. They don't know who it is, but I'm wondering if she's gonna try and maybe that's her way of like trying to give a victim closure without outing herself. She can like, well, it's not on me. I can help her out without outing myself.
I think she wants it. She wants her to find out and be confronted with the reality that you've just been hanging out with your brother's murderer this entire time.
As something like villainous and vicious
Yeah,
like that.
like purely
Oof.
sadistic.
Flo Dameron says, open shirt, Marco. Cool it with the Latino heat, bro.
It's hot out here, bro. It's hot out here.
Marco's in
Hey,
Puerto Rico currently, for context, because I don't think anyone else has context for that.
Está caliente.
hey, Flo, I shot you a DM, man. Get back to me. I want to talk turkey with you. I want to talk business. Let's talk the business of Transformers, our last slated book review, but not our last book review to be certain. This is Transformers number 22, Daniel Warren Johnson, George Corona, Mike Spicer, Russ Wooten. This was the book, the poll winner this week. This was the book that you guys voted for the most, that you wanted us to review here on the channel, and so we are doing it for all of you who voted. And I want to let you know that voting is open for the poll for this week. So your options are: this ends tonight, number one; giant-sized House of M, number one; Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 10; and arriving on the poll for the first time, but currently tearing it up, Absolute Flash number 5 has 49% of the current vote.
What are you people doing? We put it in exile. You're not supposed to vote for it.
Hey, if they fuck with it, they
Guess
fuck
we'll read
with
it.
Yeah.
God, since the
So
night looks cool.
make sure you guys cast your vote. That's under the post tab on our YouTube channel. So we had over 600 votes for the last poll. I love that number. Let's make sure we do that again for this one. All right, let's talk Transformers 22. The run that Daniel Warren Johnson and George Corona have been on is coming to an end. There are only 3 more issues of this to go. And so things are kind of ratcheting up, and we are very much in the end game. And so there are a lot of twists and turns. Um, Optimus Prime was infected by uh, um, that crazy arm cannon he had. He was
Megatron's
that
arm,
was
yeah.
yeah, the Megatron arm. And so he is dying, but Spike is trying to save him by touching that crazy fucking blue zone. Um, the military's involved. The humans who we've been following alongside the Transformers for a lot of this book have kind of stepped in to help the Transformers um, as the Decepticons are on the hunt because they want to run and rule Earth, and they are killing wantonly to make that happen. Marco, how do you feel about Transformers as it nears the end?
So I haven't been kept keeping up with this one, but I think the talent of Daniel Warren Johnson is that he's able to craft a narrative that is compelling and doesn't need you to know what's been going on. I was able to jump, I found right into this and be be involved, care for the characters. The moment where I'm trying to find it here, what's his face? Um, the friend, not Cliff, where Cliff chucks Blue Streak into the teleporter. Something's going on there. I don't know what it is, but there was weight there. Where he's like, "Tell Carly hello for me." There was an emotional beat that I don't have the context for, but through the interactions, through the dialogue that um Johnson's able to put forward, and the way that it gets represented by Jorge Corona, I felt that. I felt the that that was a decision that's going to have consequence and hurt people emotionally. And then there's also the parts towards the end where it's bloodbath. There's violence here. It's all out war, and it surprises me every time I see that with Transformers because I picture them as just like cartoons, right? Action. It can be playful, um, but a lot of the stuff here is just like it almost feels raw. So I was taken aback by how much I enjoyed this issue, even though I was just thrust into it.
Yeah, it's funny because that page and that beat with Cliff Jumper, and I think what's his name? Shredhead is the
Mhm.
Oh,
the Autobot. It's funny because you're not up to speed, and that's really important. That stuff because that's an auto because they're on Cybertron in that scene.
I figured, yeah.
Yeah, and that Autobot is a amalgamation of multiple Autobots that they couldn't get all the parts for, and they made this new one, who's a completely new Daniel Warren Johnson creator called Shredhead, um, who has like sort of the combined memories of all these different other Autobots. But he's also kind of a baby, but he's also super strong. Um, so like it adds even more to that. Like this is a guy who's completely new to this conflict, getting thrown right into it, which I thought was great. Even though so what wrestling move does he hit there to throw Shredhead into that portal? It's like a
Good
arm drag or
question.
something. It's
Uh,
a monkey flip. That's what it is.
yeah.
Um, it's great, and I love how Alita's there too. Alita is like a lieutenant for the Autobots who's ruthless,
Harsh, yeah.
harsh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And her reaction to this is just because they needed Shredhead to be able to reclaim Cybertron is great. I love this book, and I've loved every issue. Oh no, not every, but I've loved most issues because I think there is just heart at the core of this that I think is just key to what Daniel Warren Johnson writes. And Corona just has this cartoony feel to it that is just um, fun. But like nothing in the actual text of the book is fun. Like multiple people are just getting squished and killed, and there's that whole bit with Starscream just going on a rampage throughout the Pacific Northwest, just killing people. You know, Sean, you said you didn't like the A cover. I think the A cover is hilarious. It's Starscream just cackling through a window as soldiers are dying in the foreground.
He's a nut.
It's nuts. Starscream's my favorite Transformers character. I love Starscream. Voiced by Steve Buscemi in the most recent animated movie, Transformers One. Very good movie. It's yeah, I'm loving this. I'm kind of bummed. I wasn't here when we talked about it. But I'm kind of bummed that I know Daniel Warren Johnson is leaving, and it wasn't until they announced Kirkman and Mora that really settled in for me. Because I think there is just a heart that this book has because of DWJ. Kirkman couldn't do it. Like, I know he can do it, but it'll just be a little different. So I'm curious to see what that book will be like when that happens. But for this Daniel Warren Johnson run, this is just a ton of fun, and I like how the Autobots are always one step behind because the eventual come up and the eventual underdog story. It's wrestling, baby. That's what this whole arc is. It's the babyface event. You're getting the shit kicked out of them constantly until they can come and fight the heel and come up from it. So it's the Autobots are Brian Danielson essentially. So I'm excited to see how this ends in the next 3 issues.
Yeah, I've read every issue of this and I like the book, but I'm ready for it to be over. It's nothing against what DWJ or George Corona are doing necessarily. I don't know, man. I've had a problem with the art for a long time, and I'm not going to get over it. They don't feel big, the Transformers. I don't feel like we ever really get their scale, and that bums me out. I like the way that we've seen what we've seen of Dan Mora's preview art.
Yeah.
That really does give that off. Like this panel, maybe not the best example ever, but like it just the scale of the size of the Transformers just does not come across to me ever. Um, and it makes it. I also have a problem still telling the Transformers apart. And it hampers my ability to like read and enjoy the series when I struggle to figure out who's talking because half of the Autobots look to me like Optimus Prime. Um, but there is heart here, and I like that Daniel Warren Johnson is able to get that stuff across, following these characters' emotional arcs throughout, especially Optimus has been fun and cool, and I'm glad that Megatron is around. There are a lot of sacrifices that happen here and things like that. So there's a lot happening for sure. And it's all strong stuff. I just don't feel like I really care because I'm looking forward to what is coming after this. Um I was ready to not read this book a long time ago, but I just kept going because I don't know. I mean, anytime we put it on the poll, it just wins anyway. Um but yeah, like I like it. I'm not in love with this series though.
Kurt Wildshut asks, has Dan Moore ever done a style that's as scratchy and textured as Johnson and Corona's? That'll be a vibe shift. You can see the preview pages out there. It is a vibe shift. It is not like Corona or Daniel Ward Johnson's.
And if the history of Skybound with all this Energon stuff shows, it's all deliberate, it's all planned out that way. I think it's a smart decision, because definitely the scratchiness here is a flavor for this introductory piece. But Dan Moore is going to bring a different kind of energy to it, and announcing that alongside of Kirkman, it's good marketing from their part, man.
Well, Kirkman's a smart move. He's the one writing Void Rivals, which has ties
Yeah.
to a lot of greater Transformers mythos going on. So it just makes sense. Especially since they introduced Mask as well into the universe recently. I think it was in like the free comic book day special. So they added another 4th smaller pillar to it.
The Mask?
Not Jim Carrey, the Mask.
Oh,
Mask. Mask. I forget what it stands for, but it's another one of those toy lines that had a Saturday morning cartoon show. Probably much lesser known than the other two.
Pull.
Easy pull for me.
um, has, just because I'm not reading it. I wouldn't have picked this up otherwise. And I'm not interested in the Transformers in this way, but it's a strong issue nonetheless. If I was into this, I'd be enjoying this.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of think that's where I'm at too. But we'll see what the
I-
next era brings.
I'm kind of surprised I'm into it. I've never been a Transformers guy, and I think recently with this, the really good action figures that Hasbro's been doing with them, and Transformers One and Energon as a whole, I think I'm being shifted into a Transformers guy, and I don't like who I'm becoming. I'm gonna have a
On top,
favorite Transformer soon. Like I'm gonna be undateable.
favorite Transformer,
Beachcomber.
favorite Disney theme park,
Oh, don't do that to me.
Muppet.
Don't do that to me.
All right. The poll results: 50% poll, 44% didn't buy or read, 5% say pick of the week, and 0% say pass. Well, that's a
Wow.
good sign. I mean, the didn't buy or read is not a good sign. Um, but nobody passing on this book.
So everyone who read it at least enjoyed it to an extent.
Right. Yep. It's great.
It just seems to
What you
be like,
want.
but this actually solidifies your theory, Marco. It's a good book for who it's for.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Now, there was a book that was on the poll alongside Transformers that I thought was a slam dunk. I thought there's no way that we're not going to be talking about this book on the show. But Transformers fans are legion, and you guys really, really pushed for that book to win. The book I'm talking about is the Marvel Swimsuit Special #1. I thought there was no way in the world this book was not going to win the poll. It didn't, but there was nothing that was going to keep me from reading and discussing this book here on the show. So we're going to do that right now. Marvel Swimsuit Special #1.
Ooh, which
I'm
covers did you
assuming I'm
get?
the only one who got this in physical, so I got to show off my cover here.
Oh, yeah, I knew you got the Mark Brooks one.
Yeah, I
Oh
went
yeah.
with the Mark
Gatefold?
Brooks. That is
Woohoo!
a and it's got Mary Jane, Black Widow, She-Hulk, Rogue, and Captain Marvel, all in their skivvies, looking immaculate as one would imagine.
Spread it open. Spread it open.
Whoa, hey
Whoa.
now. Hey now.
Hey, wait, hold on,
Hey
hold on,
now.
hold on. There it is. Hell yeah.
Mhm.
All right, guys, put it away. Put it away now. Put that thing back where it came
Um,
from.
yeah, so this let me pull up the creative team here.
This is for Hayden too, if you're still listening live.
Happy birthday, bud.
This is your birthday gift in a way.
This is my birthday gift too. This book was written by, and not that anybody's here for the words, but it's written by Tim Seeley and Tony Fleeks, Nick Bradshaw on art, colors by Rachel Rosenberg, letters by Travis Lanham. That's for the story of it, which nobody cares about. The story of it is that Roxxon made a swimsuit special with featuring these heroes, but it's an AI swimsuit edition. And so the heroes all figure out, well, if we're going to get exploited and they're going to make AI with our likeness in our swimsuits, we might as well do it for real and do it better. And so, interspersed between these sequences of the heroes trying to recruit others to join this mission, of them finding places to take pictures, etc., there are these pinup type images throughout the book. Some of these are actually not original art, which is very weird. I don't understand why they would have included things that are not
The
original.
Namor one jumped out to me.
The Namor one is
Yeah.
not original. The Ryan Johnson Venom one is not original. The She-Hulk one is not original. Those were covers for other books.
Wait, what?
I am dead serious.
Yeah, which
The-
those weren't even
okay.
my favorite ones.
Throwaway ones.
This was
Um,
stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean that in the best way possible. Like Sean's talking about the articles within this smut book, with the story that's kind of the glue to the issue, which also Tim Seeley is the right guy to get for this. That's the guy who's been doing Money Shot and all that. And Tony Fleeks is kind of an up and comer right now in comics, so that's cool. But the idea that like Roxanne, who apparently in the Marvel Universe currently has an elaborate print marketing with the Thor comic that was in Al Ewing's run. So they're just real big into physical media at this point. That it's like a real loose discussion on AI and how to fight back against it, and also a discussion a bit on like the death of print publishing in a printed comic. I thought it was stupid, but it was just the right amount of stupid. Because all it is this is just pinup issues. Come on, let's be real here. I think the art it was Sean, it was Nick Bradshaw on the main story. I love Nick Bradshaw's art. Like, even though we only got a couple of actual story pages that's kind of interspersed throughout this, Bradshaw, he did Jason Aaron's Wolverine and the X-Men that I loved. And just the way he draws, like there's Gambit fighting Sabretooth and Pyro and Rogue are in this. Hellcat shows up constantly with never a speaking line. I thought the actual pages looked good. But then there's just cheesecake throughout, which I'm sure each of you has a favorite.
Oh, 100%. I thought that's what we were going to talk about.
Marco doesn't want to talk about the actual content.
Yeah, fuck all that other stuff. Let's talk about Nick Klein. Nick Klein, he had my favorite because
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Elite Milk. You see that wagon right there?
Oh,
See what I'm
that's what you were
pointing to?
looking
That's
at.
what it's all about.
I was looking at Wolverine in the Borat swimsuit. He's literally got the Borat mankini. But that's Valkyrie, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, this is the Defenders, I think.
Yeah. Stan Lee, present here in the Aaron Cooter pinup.
That was funny.
Yeah, I didn't pull that one, but yeah.
Sean, if you could so kindly go to Joshua Cassara towards the front.
Yeah.
Get a little glimpse of that storm.
I like how Marvel still can't leave Krakoa. Like, even when they're doing a pinup that justifies the smuttiest X-Men, it's got to be at the Green Lagoon. It's got to be in Krakoa.
Where else is it gonna be?
I don't know. I mean, yes,
Infamous tiki
Storm.
bars.
Goddamn Storm.
Yeah.
Also, when was Forge on the juice?
Word.
He is yoked. And then it's the most, again, Wolverine. They're just making Wolverine in the weirdest predicaments. He's naked in this. He's naked with a hot dog right where it should be. Like this, it's very Austin Powers, you know.
That was good. That was real funny.
Yeah. And it's the whole bit with Cyclops looking at Emma with Jean there, like.
The Mamuda's Raw is good. That's Black Cat.
I
Right?
really like the Mamuda Sarar one. Yeah, I pulled that one too.
Oh, he killed it.
Yeah, I love
yanked on that one.
the way the two-dimensional use of the spider sense has 3 dimensions here. It sort of feels like it is turning with Peter's head, almost as if it was like an accessory that went on his head.
I see that. That's cool.
It's great. And whatever they're drinking looks great.
Go ahead.
I thought it was so funny when Punisher, because I did read some of it. Punisher was like, "I thought I'd never have to use this thing again." Yo, that was pretty good.
That was goofy as fuck.
Whoa.
I also
Electrics with the 100 SEK. I voted swimsuit special for Hayden, 1 for Hayden and 5 for the pals for chatting about it. Yeah, of course it's stupid. It's a swimsuit special. Who said it was going to be great? Let's enjoy some cool art. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Electrics. I really enjoyed the Mirka and Dolfo as well. She's one of my favorites, and she did her thing on Gamora and Rocket. They look fantastic.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite one, just in terms of like the entirety. Like that was like, oh, it's Mirka and Dolfo to a T.
Luke Cage packing heat. Got that print.
Oh no,
we can see it.
Stick at that print. That's crazy.
It's not gray. It's not gray sweatpants season. It's yellow swim trunk season.
Well, you gotta end with the last one, Adam Hughes.
Adam Hughes can do no wrong.
Yeah.
King of cheesecake. Yeah. That's just Jade Cargill.
Pretty much. This was great. I mean, I didn't buy it for the story. The story is whatever. It's not what we're here for. This was a lot of fun to look at, and that's sort of the point.
Monster Design says too much Deadpool for me. Like I think that's if I can have one complaint about the book, it's that. But I also realize what the book is, so they kind of need him. I just thought it was weird they went to the Savage Land, and in a swimsuit special, Kazar and Shira don't show up. You're already there. They're already half naked.
Yeah, maybe that's exactly why, because we see them like that all the
Yeah, I
time.
guess nothing. It's nothing special. Did you like any of the new Marvel Rival skins coming out? The back matter of this?
I don't give a fuck about that, bro.
I like how the Punisher's got the Punisher Skullkini in it too, which comes out at the end of July. They just announced it today. Those skins are actually be in the game at the end of the month.
That's wild.
That's a great synergy. I just think that's good comic booking right there.
Does he have a GoPro on his chest?
Maybe. Is it like a police body cam?
Looks like it. Wild.
The Psylocke outfit is definitely fantastic. I like that.
Oh, she's got
Yeah.
all the Gooner skins in that game.
Yeah, so that's it. That's Marvel swimsuit special. It's fun. Dan Trudeau says drawn images don't do it for me, except for Adam Hughes drawing Fire and Ice back in the day. Adolescent me could barely deal with it. I hear it, man.
That's fair.
I don't got a problem with it.
And Kurt Wild just said, so sad Chris Anka left for animation before he could work on this. Man, he would have killed it on
Damn.
this. Yeah.
Munster, this is a safe space, bro. Speak. Now's the time to speak.
And it says Psylocke skin is going to make you re-download Rivals. Then mission accomplished, Marvel.
It's doing what it needs to.
Yeah.
Speak now or forever hold your peace. Piece. Uncanny Suit says Psylocke. We must focus, brothers. I recently learned that's not Quanon or Betsy in the game. That's some other Psylocke.
It's from Demon Days.
Ah,
It's from that world. Yeah,
Oh.
that's that Psylocke.
Cool.
They even added like accessories into the game now where you can get like a little boo boo keychain that can hang from the skin. And Psylocke
No
is
way.
Psylocke is an Orochi, which is like a little boo boo Venom Orochi from the Demon Days story.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wait,
Even in
that's
the
awesome.
Krakoa map, you see her dog Logan from the Demon Days book. She has like a pet wolf named Logan. So he's in it. Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, because in this one they had like the sword was like a katana looking styling and stuff.
Yeah.
Huh.
Is her name Sai? Is that what Common Sense is saying?
yeah.
Sai?
Yeah. Get it? Psylocke? Wow.
I didn't actually put those pieces together because I'm a dummy.
CW Gordon, they decided to forego the problematic white woman in a Japanese woman's body. Wait, you mean there's a problem with that?
No,
You mean there's some kind of a
they couldn't just make her the Japanese woman in a Japanese woman's body who constantly has to deal with the after effects of a white woman being in her body the entire time.
Don't like it. It's changing
I-
my comics.
I almost feel like that's erasure in and of itself. Like the whole point of unveiling Quanon was to let that character shine and get Betsy out of her fucking body and like let her be her own thing. But now they're just saying, you know what? We're not even gonna deal with that at all. Fuck it.
One of the skins is Quanon, though. So
I would hope so.
yeah, at least one of them. She's got way too many skins. I think she has the most skins. AKA the CB Cebulski special. Why do it in a Japanese skin? Yeah.
Insane. All right. Let's get into the stack. We do this because I buy a lot of comics every week, arguably too many, and you guys are helping me to lower that count by criticizing me if I buy too many books. And so we're
This-
gonna what?
This feels like a shame kink now.
It really isn't.
Okay.
And
All right.
I'm not. Yeah,
I'm
no.
glad we cleared the air on that one. Feel free to throw your
Anyways,
numbers out there, guys. Guilt free.
Get it started.
let's get those numbers out there. Let's see them.
Uh, uh,
Go ahead.
Sean, while I was out here, I was trying to find a comic shop. Like
Mm.
the goal was to try to find and locate one on the entirety of the island.
Did you go to Koki
And
Comics?
I don't know where that is, but
It's
certainly
not.
wasn't where I went.
I just made it up.
Oh, and I uh I spent a little while searching, looking for stuff, seeing how close certain things were. I found one that was only maybe like 30 minutes out from another place that we were going to. So I'm like, you know what? Let's try to make it. We were running late because we had gone to the beach, we had eaten some food, and we were like, okay, we have 45 minutes to get there. It closes at 6. It is now 5, like 10. ETA would have gotten us there within 5 minutes of it closing. I'm putting pedal to the metal, stuck in traffic, crossing over like round, going around people, and finally make our way 30, 45 minutes out, arrive to the location. It is a trailer park. No, no shop abound, nothing around there. Like, okay, so, maybe it's in the trailer park, but that's weird. But maybe it's in the trailer park. Work your way into the trailer park, kind of do a little circle around. Nothing. Go back to search for the place because it's there. It says here it is. Here's the address. Here's the location. Um, where is this shop? Um, my girlfriend looks through the Facebook page that's connected to the Google Maps thing, the location itself, and it turns out that the person who had the shop was just like seemingly a collector, um,
They had those around here too. Yeah.
who had passed last year. And it's still up. It still reads this person's comic shop. And so unfortunately I went on a wild goose chase.
That's crazy.
I once
The,
we hit the park, I'm like,
the
close.
stress I felt of having you do math in your head to be on time
Oh,
scared me.
yeah, yeah.
That's a one sentence horror story for me.
To everybody putting numbers for my stack, I just gave you a story. No.
I was horrified when you said you went to a Puerto Rican trailer park. That sounds like it could be the setting of an HBO, really more like a Showtime drama series. Um, and I am glad you made it out of there.
It was actually very nice.
Oh, do you ever go to Old San Juan?
Yes, actually going there tomorrow.
I fucking hate Old San Juan
What?
because, dude, it's so grimy. I like to be in, if I'm going on vacation, I like to be in nice places, okay? I want to see beautiful roads, I want to see beautiful homes, I want to see beautiful people. I go to Old San Juan, right? And I'm trying to get an Uber because
Oh,
right, my girlfriend and I were trying to get the fuck out. So we can't get an Uber because it's just the service is god awful. And then there's this guy roaming the streets, right? And he's clearly nuts, all right? He is pure PR crazy, all right? And this is a true story. I'm standing waiting for the Uber. My man walks up the block. He's walking like right directly towards me. And I'm like, here we fucking go. So he gets right in my face, right in my face. And he goes, hey! That's it. Then he kept it moving.
that's it. And you're kind
I
of like
like that dude.
you're seeing happy do the little.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And he just kept it pushing. And I said, oh, we got to get the fuck out of here. Fuck this Puerto Rico shit ain't for me.
Get in the Uber, get out. Well, you know what? Sounds not that much better.
Oh my goodness. Entertain me with the $5. Thank you so much for the super chat. Entertain me, and thank you to Electrics for that earlier. You guys did super chat. Keep us alive. Sean, you quit the X Line comics, so I assume you will be back this October with the all new X comics. But stay away from Iron and Frost. Tony and Emma is a thumbs down. Entertain me. I will not be back in October for that line of books because we'll talk about it more on Saturday, but that line of books looks like ass. So I will do my damnedest to avoid them at all costs.
I'm gonna read them all.
Jesus. Tracks. All right, I think we got all the numbers in.
Fire away, man.
Yeah, you be the numbers guy.
Got you. James Jones, 14 for Sean Stack. Near with 16. Hayden's Hideout, 16. Entertain Me, 10. Hayden's Hideout again with 17. Neon Knight, 15. CW Gordon, Sean's been a good boy, 15. Dan Trudeau, 16. Electrics, 13. Uncanny Suit, 14. Kurt Wildshut, 20. Izzy says, Mrs. Issues says 13. Monster Design, 12. MD Johnny, 17. Hayden's Hideout, 15 for Tyler's Tower. Sorry to disappoint.
He's very close on that one, actually.
Oh, and Izzy Issues, 17. Ted H with 27. Damn, no faith in you. Jan Trudeau with -8 for my stack. Yep, checks out. Oh, and then Samuel Summers, Gavin Guidry, and Pete Patron sneaking in at the last 14, 13, and 16.
Gavin's just pooping in though.
Yeah, Gavin is pooping in for a second. That's
Yeah.
You can't. That's a typo we're not letting go.
Dude, I can't tell it right now, but I have a tremendous story relating to someone shitting that I think would be
Oh, is that
yeah. You dig. But
Yeah.
I haven't told that story in so long that probably no one remaining knows about it. So maybe I'll tell it one day.
Yeah, save it for pooping around.
All right. So we've got the 6 we talked about on the show, and of course the swimsuit special, which we just discussed. And then we've also got Godzilla versus Thor. I spun the block to get this.
It's
Nice.
good. It's good.
Had to. Too much praise. They Choose Violence. This issue was actually not, at least not available at my shop when it was supposed to have released, but they had it this week, so I grabbed it. Wild Animals, the book that Marco put me on to during Pal's previews, which is why you should listen because you always get a hint as to what I might pick up. And so thank you, Marco, for that. Aquaman number 7. Gotham City Sirens for Orbit number 2. I read the first one. It was fun. Looking forward to this. Green Lantern Corps number 6. Action Comics 1089. I was waffling on this. I decided to give the creative team one more chance. The Power Fantasy number 10. The Unchosen number 1. Very excited to dig into this. Fantastic Four First Steps number 1. I really wish I had had the chance to get into that, but I didn't. And The Pale Knight number 2. I was asked to read this by the birthday boy, Hayden. He suggested that this was a very good comic. So on his word alone, I decided to pick it up, and it was pretty good. I actually enjoyed this. I didn't read the first one, so I came in without whatever context was established, and it's an interesting book. You know, it's takes place in, like, I guess you could say maybe like medieval times or something, and there's a lot of religious stuff in here, and ghosts and crazy shit like that. Peter Milligan wrote this. I will probably pick up the next one. I had fun with this. Thanks, Hayden, for the recommendation. I appreciate
Nice.
That's Mad Cave, right?
Yeah.
This is Mad Cave. Yes, it is.
Are you a fan of Milligan? Have you read other stuff?
Certainly, but I couldn't tell you with a gun to
Sure.
my head what else.
Yeah. That's I got 11 plus you said 7?
Yeah.
18?
Yeah. Yep.
18. Closest one I got, I think, is Kurt Wildshit with 20.
Ooh, that's over.
Oh, you're right. That is older.
Price is Right rules.
How about Pete Patron? He had 16.
You got 17 with Hayden's Hideout.
Oh, what?
Birthday boy.
He won on his birthday. Shit's rigged.
He made an adjustment too because he remembered Pale Knight. He's at 16. Oh wait, 17.
Yeah. So
Wow.
17. Well
Wow.
done.
Shit is rigged. Congratulations, Hayden. If you want any of the codes for the Marvel books that I pulled this week, feel free to reach out for them and I will send them on your way. Thanks for playing. Thank you guys for playing. Gavin actually, I was DMing with Gavin about his Superman film thoughts. And he definitely enjoyed it. I'm not
Okay.
gonna say any more than that.
Cool.
But yeah, man, a lot of buzz. A lot of buzz. I'm T minus less than an hour.
I got a question for you, Sean.
Yeah,
You more excited for the movie or that sweet popcorn?
it's a great question. It's very close. It's very close. Um, I gotta go with the popcorn. I know.
You're
I
a
know.
popcorn star. I know it.
No, I'm more excited for the movie. I am cautiously optimistic because James Gunn traditionally really just isn't my thing. I've liked the movies. I have not loved any of them, and I despised Guardians too. So we'll see where I net out with this one, but it looks the part for sure.
Gavin says he's gonna go see it again in a couple of hours. So there you go.
Hell yeah.
I'm ready. I'm gonna get my herb parmesan popcorn from my place. Herb truffle parmesan popcorn
Herbs
with
you
actual butter too. It's not like a butter like you sometimes you get a glob of actual butter in there.
Where do you go? The Alamo? Alamo?
I do go to my local Alamo Draft House. Yeah.
Tyler, are you feeling like this is going to be a winner for you?
I have been very good at not having feelings about this movie.
Oh, okay.
I think I've been losing that within the past week because I have been seeing some early reactions for people whose opinion I typically agree with, having high praise for this. So we'll see. But I know how I felt after Man of Steel. I'm making sure I don't feel like that this time.
Okay. All right. All right, I see we've got a reaction from Barlord in the chat who says, I enjoyed it. I'd say good, but not great. I had a few issues with it. Barlord, I don't know if you're on our Discord server, but we do have a tab for movies. And I'm gonna make sure to let everybody in that tab know no spoilers. Like spoilers, but with spoiler tags. Because I do want you guys to be able to share your thoughts about the film and have conversation. I just don't want anybody to be spoiled who doesn't want to. So be extra careful on the Discord. Um, but yeah, let's get some reactions. Entertain me with the $2 before we get out of here. If Rogue Storm is a Yuri comic, still no go, Sean. What's a Yuri comic?
Marco, would you
Okay.
like to inform him?
That's a woman love comic. It's a gay comic.
WLW, yeah. You getting
Oh,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
Twitter hashtags as I do on Instagram, Sean?
Very unlikely.
Okay, no.
Very unlikely.
I get a lot of
Highly
WLW.
unlikely.
I get a lot of WLW and a lot of sapphic. They think I'm a lesbian.
Um,
Well,
well,
yeah, entertain me. I would definitely buy that. There's no question. Oh, I don't know why they would do that. That would be crazy. But if they did it, I'm here for it. I'll read it. Shit. Gavin Guidry says, keep your eyes peeled for a certain mural whenever Guy and the gang is in the big fancy old building. That is very much not a spoiler. I feel like that was more than obscure enough.
in the trailer.
So I don't know what he's talking about, but I will be looking. I will be paying close attention. Barlord with the final warning. Spoilers are everywhere. Be careful, folks. I agree. Let's not let this movie get ruined by social media and shitheads. Let's go. Let's enjoy it. And this is our time, guys. We're getting two massive movies. The movie industry is relying on these movies this summer, and they're comic book movies. So let's show out. Let's show support, and let's do the damn thing.
Yeah, I gotta watch this to know what Fox News is talking about.
Oh God.
oh, sure. Okay.
All right, we're gonna get out of here, kids. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. Hope to see you Saturday. Oh, Before we go, Matt Fisher dropping a $4.99 came in at the final minute. Can One World Under Doom please end? What is happening to X-Men? Listen, Matt, I can't even tell you what's happening in X-Men because I dropped X-Men. I'm done with X-Men. X-Men and I divorced. Kaput. Finito. Over. No more. Bye. And I
Damn.
also wish One World Under Doom would end. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Don't crash. Appreciate you.
That's right. Drive safe.
All right, we'll see you Saturday, 10:15 a.m. Eastern. Be there. Big episode.